So today we are installing the Goldstrike armrests on the back of the Goldwing. This is for the passenger, my wife. We found that over longer road trips, you get thirsty and you need to hydrate, and just stopping at the gas station every hour and a half, you don't really get enough water. So you need the armrest, you need the offset mount, which allows you to put the actual drink holder on. And then of course there's the big ass drink holder itself. This is what holds it. And like I said before, these are really big ass drink holders. They're designed for the big cups that have that flare at the top. And we may actually downsize these. We haven't had a season with them on yet, so we'll decide this year because these are just so massive. And today we have a guest mechanic. My faithful wife has, also framed the doors with me and hung up drywall and painted and done electrical, so she's done all the things I've done. So today she is going to put these on the bike for us, so we get to see her in action doing a little bit of work. So let's have her unbox these so we can figure out what it is we have to do. Let's start with this thing. Go ahead and open these up. There, an armrest. Ooh, parts. I was not expecting parts. That means we got to put the armrest together. That'll be exciting.
Do we have scissors or something?
Use box knives in the garage, not scissors. It's not the kitchen. Actually, I have scissors in there. I use scissors a lot out here. Oh, it does have the armrest on there, so we're going to have to check this out and see how it all goes together. See, that's the hole for it. That's the hole for this guy.
Okay.
Just be careful we don't drop those anywhere.
Do you have another cup?
Yeah, no, just do it over the bench right now.
Where are the parts?
There we go. It's supposed to be reinforcers. All right, so we'll have to see. And then we'll, back in just a second here, we're gonna go over to the bike, get the bike ready. And then it looks like we're gonna put these together before we put them on the bike, maybe? There they are. There are instructions down there. We're gonna grab the instructions out. Hey, Goldstrike's really good about their instructions. There you go, look, we have instructions. So we're gonna take a gander at the instructions real quick, and then we'll be putting stuff together.
So we're back over at the bench because we went over to the bike after reading the directions. And one of the things that we noticed is our bike already came with armrests, and so there's parts in this kit here that we don't need. So the only thing that we need are 4 screws, 4 washers, and our caps here. We don't need these at all. So these are the supplies that we're working with. So because we have armrests, the only thing that we have to do is take off our armrests right here. And so we're going to start by taking these 2 bolts right here and here off.
So these 2 bolts just hold the armrest in. It looks like if you have the OEM, or if you don't have this OEM armrest, you have a blank here. And so they've given you the parts to attach the new armrest over the top of what would be the blank. And you have a lot more work to do. You've got to remove the inside back cover. Looky there, magnetic retriever. Always have your magnetic retriever. You're on a Goldwing, you always drop screws. And where'd you just put that?
I put it in our nifty little bucket back here so that we don't lose any of our pieces and parts.
Awesome.
Okay.
Gonna need the ratchet, yeah.
We'll need the ratchet for that part.
So I'll show you the bolt holes here that they're giving you the parts to replace when we get done. Taking this off. And Stacy already noticed some differences she wants to talk to you about on the bench here. But these are the... So if you don't have the armrests, those two silver pieces will be mounted on the inside here and basically give you these two bolt holes, which we don't need because we have the armrests already. I didn't know they actually sold this bike without armrests. So now we're going to go back over to the bench and Stacy talk you through a couple of the questions she asked on the armrests.
A couple things that I noticed is, one, the great news is that the newer ones are longer. And I think that that's going to provide a little bit more support for resting your arms. The other thing that I noticed is the old arm wrap seems to be wrapped in this pleather. And one of the things I noticed was this new one is not. And so my concern was, will this black rub off on our gear when I'm riding in the back? Is it going to leave marks on the arms? And so it doesn't look like, and like testing this kind of on this paper, does not look like that's going to be a concern. So we're going to hope it's not a concern down the road. Okay.
We'll find out after the first couple rides, I'm sure.
Yes.
So make sure you save your other armrests. We'll let you know. This is also really dense rubber, so it's not like soft like the other one, so it's firm. This bar is made of a solid piece of, it looks like aluminum, whereas this one's a little bit thinner. It's also aluminum, but it's a little bit thinner. You can see them side by side, and because of that, we have to actually use their screws. I don't think we can use our bolts because we need the extra length. So now we're going to go back over to the bike, and Stacy's going to mount an armrest for us.
We're back over at the bike, and we're going to put the armrest on, and this hole right here goes on the outside, and you're going to put this in through where, if you've taken an armrest off, you're going to put it right back in where the other armrest was, and it will line up. Mike's going to hold that for me so I can get this in. The other noticeable difference is that this is the screws that we're using. It takes a Phillips head screwdriver instead of the hex that was in here before. And so we're going to just line this up. And like I said, Mike's going to help me, and we're going to put a screw in and get this in there and tightened enough that will help us to get the other screw in.
I feel like I want thread lock on this. I'm going to see if it vibrates off over some time on the road. If it gets loose, I'll retighten it and then I'll put thread lock on it. I've taken this off a lot on the bike, so I'm a little worried that if I thread lock this with Phillips heads, it's going to be a real nightmare to get out. So there's a couple possibilities here. If I found it needs thread lock, I will probably swap these out for the equivalent hex head and drive it back in.
Okay, now we're ready to put the other screw in.
Remember, these are going into a soft metal receiver, so on the hole side. So you don't want to crank these down, and you want to make sure you're lined up. If you're fighting it at all, then it's cross-threaded, so don't fight it. Make sure it goes in easy. It's easier. It was definitely easier. I've taken these off a lot by myself, so having Stacy here actually was a lot easier to put this on, because you usually end up having to have your screw in the hole and this being held by the other hand at the same time. So two people makes it a lot easier. Well, that's the story of life, though.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go to the other side of the bike and put that one on.
So this side, we still have to take this armrest off. And so that's where we're going to start, is taking this armrest off. Okay. And then make sure that you're not dropping your little screws, and maybe even have another little bucket back there if you want to hold on to those in case you decide you want to put your old armrest back on.
Yeah, Stacy doesn't know about my obsessions. I always pretend I'm going to put OEM parts back on, so I save them all. I label them and put them in little buckets and save them. They never go back on, but I always pretend I'm going to put them back on. It makes me feel better.
Okay. So now we're going to take the new armrest and do the same thing that we did on the other side. We're going to put that through here. Maybe. There we go. We're going to get the screw.
Screw in a washer.
Screw in a washer, and we're going to do the same thing and put that back in here as well. And again, if it's not going in easily, realign it, because that means you're going to cross thread the screw, and that's not good. So we're going to put that on just tight enough so that we can get the other screw in, and then we'll tighten up just a little bit more to make sure that the armrest isn't going to go anywhere. Okay. Mike is going to hold that for me.
Sometimes you got to give them a little wiggle to get them to line up so you don't cross thread. I just got to get Stacy to help change the oil and, you know, fork seals and stuff. She doesn't like getting greasy.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. We'll see.
Should have seen her removing insulation from the house with me.
That was fun.
All right, so those are all back on.
And then we're going to make sure that you put the old screws in your little container, whatever you're going to use, and keep them with your with the old armrests. Okay, so we're back over at the bike, and we're going to put one plug in, and only one plug, because the drink holder is going to go on the right side. So I'm going to put the left plug in, and these are keyed so that they go in one way.
Yep, you're in. Just give her some thumb. Yep.
And there you go.
So now that one's complete. So they actually make another attachment. So, and I've talked about doing it for her. So you have, the attachment we have is for the drink. They also make one of their ball mounts that you could put a, like a phone holder on it. So I could actually put her phone here and run her wire down here by her seat here and power it up. Okay, so this is the mount for the big ass drink holder. So just need to tear this open. I believe they call this the offset mount. So there's a ball for the drink holder, I think, and you can see it's got the keyway on it. So it goes in. So we'll mount that up. Comes with instructions. There is a little washer that's missing. So it says we need an O-ring, which is still in the little plastic. So the O-ring goes here. I love how they always tell you to park on a level surface and shut off your motorcycle, just in case you were trying to do this while you were driving down the road. We didn't put the plug in, so we don't have the plug on that side of the bike. And you don't have to install the O-ring. We're going to, because it says on here that you're going to want the O-ring if it's going to be in the wind, and this is hanging off the side of the bike. So it makes it a little bit stiffer so it doesn't rotate quite as freely. And then we're just going to cruise over to the bike real quick, and Stacy's going to put this into her seat. And we'll see how this goes.
So we're back over at the bike, and we are going to put this in, and this has the keyway, and this goes on the top. So we're just going to push this in. And there we have it. Oh, it does come back out, but it
come out pretty easily, so. It will rotate. Oh, so we can tilt it down. Nice. So you can do this in a 360, which means the keyway is now pointing down. Okay.
So it's locked.
It's locked. So now we just need to go grab the big ass drink holder. We'll put that over here and see how it fits in the bike. We're back over at the bench here real quick, and I'm going to open this. Stacy's not a fan of box knives. And like I said before, when I opened this other one, when I put the one on for the driver, these are really big ass drink holders. So that's those, what do they call them, Stanley cups? Yeah, the big Stanley cups. So this will hold one of those massive cups. I guess that's for the guys in the Iron Butt Association. So if you haven't put these on before, the way these work is this little ring right here, you just twist it off, you put that over the ball, put this on first, you put this over the ball, tighten it back down. Stace will show us over at the bike. So there you go. Now we'll head over to the bike. Okay, so we went over to the bike, and as you saw, Stacy diligently inserted this. We learned something over there on that. But here's what I figured out. This end is slightly different than their normal ball mount. The normal ball mount just has a smooth ball. This has these rings on it. So if you try to put this thing on, you'll note it does not fit. You cannot get that over there. The only thing I could figure out to do would be to put it over the back side here, and then with a little bit of love and effort, we can pull this down over, and then it covers the ball. Then we can put the ball on there, and then we can screw this down. I think, my guess would be this is so that the whole thing is stiffer. And you'll note that once it's in here, this cup holder, that's exactly what it is. Once it's on here, this cup holder won't move. So that means I need to flip this. We'll do it when we get over to the bike. You got to figure out exactly where you want it, because once you put this on, you're going to lock onto it in whichever angle you're at. So if you want it forward, or if you need it backward or anything like that, or you need it upside down, you're going to have to move it. The other thing we figured out, and I'll have Stacy show you this, the keyway here, once you put it in and you turn it, that's what's going to lock this in place. It won't come out. So you can spin it, and then when you hit the key, you can pull it back out. So we'll do that over at the bike real quick. So you see you at the bike.
So we're back at the bike, and like we said, this keyway, this notch here, it goes in the top, and you push that in, and then you're going to turn it to lock it. And once you do that, it won't come out. If you need to get that out, you turn it back up, and then you can pull it out. It pretty much slides right back out. So you're going to put that in, turn it to lock it, and then now that we have this on here, we're going to put this on. I don't know, my husband might have to do this one, I'm not sure. There we go. And now it's on there. And you just need to figure out what angle you want it at, and then you can screw this down.
Those are just monster cup holders.
They are huge. Like, wow. You could probably get like those ones from 7-Eleven, a big gulp in there.
I mean, it hangs out past the saddlebag. So here's the saddlebag line right here.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a big ass drink holder.
And I will probably have to get my husband to kind of tighten that down just a little bit. But that still
turns. It does swing, so you know, when you take off, it's going to keep your drink level. So if you have your drink in here, it'll tilt when you take off. Now we're going to film where Stacy's up on the bike here. We're going to get her up on the bike. It takes a little bit of work because we're up on a center stand and everything. So we're going to get her up on the bike so she can see how these armrests work for her. All right, so she's back up there. You can see where her drink would go if she was riding. These armrests definitely come out further, so that looks more comfortable. It actually goes all the way to your wrist.
That goes to my wrist, and I think that'll be more comfortable. The other ones ended about here, and so it just didn't seem like there was as much support. And it's amazing how much like an inch will help with support for armrests.
I like that, yeah. Now I can use mine. I put mine on a while ago, but I haven't used it yet because I didn't want to use it until Stacy could use hers. So I'm not sitting up there drinking all the water. She's back there dying of thirst.
That's so kind.
All right, so there it is. Goldstrike, big ass drink holder on the passenger, new armrests. I'll have to look at their phone holder and see if we could actually mount her phone back here. because we have the backrest goes right here, and she has a pouch there, but it's just hard to get stuff in and out of because I've got longer legs, so it's way back. That's it. Awesome. We'll see you for the next install, and I'm gonna get Stacy to do an oil change this year.
Thank you.
See ya.